Welcome back, guys, to another video brought to you by your one and only literary pharaoh. Yesterday I talked to you guys about the Shadeur experience, and I tried to but I did intentionally and deliberately put a positive spin to it, because I think that in life everything's all about perspective. And I'm a true believer through the experiences that I've had that your thinking and how you process things dictates how your future will be. And how you take things in. What looks negative at the onset doesn't necessarily mean you have to stew and remain in that negativity. And we all heard the news about Shadeur Sanders being put down to the fourth string, and I think that I didn't think it took people by surprise, because people already were on the thought process of that they never wanted him, and he went down to the fifth round. So it wasn't like Cleveland was showing all the signs that they're all in on Shadeur anyway. So I think him being put to the fourth string was not a surprise, but it was just what people expected. But the news that I want to talk about today is the fact that now we heard that there's been a trade. They've let a quarterback go, Kenny Pickett. I think his name is Pickett. Pickett, yeah. The alleged backup quarterback to Flacco. So it was Flacco number 1, you had Pickett number 2, you had Dillon Gabriel number 3, and you had Shadeur Sanders number 4. So the reason why I'm telling you guys this news is because that is good news. But I told you guys to slow down, that we don't know the intentions and the motivations of the owner and the GM and the coach. And I know for sure that the GM, coach are on the same page, but the owner, they're not on the same page, because I don't think Kevin Stefanski wanted Shadeur, but I think that picking Shadeur Sanders has made Cleveland a relevant topic in NFL discussions. People actually talk about Cleveland Browns. Can you believe that? I mean, Cleveland Browns are being talked about. No one gave two shits about Cleveland Browns. So now that Shadeur is there, Cleveland Browns are getting a lot of press. So the pick of Shadeur was more of a publicity kind of thing. Like, let's get him. It's a circus act. Not that Shadeur is a circus act, but the fandom behind Shadeur is a circus act. And that's why I told you guys to slow down on the temperamental responses based upon anything that happens with Shadeur. We can't just start running to the media and having all these talk shows about Shadeur. Let's allow things to settle as they may. And as you see happening, if they got rid of Pickett, all right, the backup to Flacco, what's that saying? Remember, they initially kept 4 quarterbacks, and I told you that's really not the norm. No teams don't keep 4 quarterbacks. 3 at best. They don't keep 4. Okay? So they're not going to keep 4. Pickett is gone. Now you have 3. Now, out the 3 quarterbacks, I want you guys to think seriously. Yes, I understand that Dillon Gabriel was taken 3rd. Do you actually believe in your right mind that Dillon Gabriel is the actual true backup? Or do you think that this ranking of the first string, second string, third string quarterback, do you think that matters? Because to me, if you're not starting, then you're last. Remember that old saying on that movie? I forgot the movie with Colin. I think it was Colin Farrell or whatever. It was like a race movie. Remember they said if you're not first, you're last. If you're not the starting quarterback, then it doesn't matter if you're third, if you're second or the third or the fourth string quarterback. Anything can happen. And to me, I think this is all reverse psychology. And I know that Cleveland Browns are not doing this intentionally to incur some type of reverse psychology upon the minds of Dillon Gabriel and Shadeur Sanders. But I believe that the pressure is on Dillon Gabriel now. Because now, Dillon Gabriel, you are the bona fide backup quarterback to Flacco. So anything happens to Flacco this season, remember, he's 41 years old. Those bones don't heal quickly. Those ligaments, those tissues, they don't heal very quickly in your 40s. Because we understand that football is a very physical game. You get injured, you're always going to be in pain. So I don't know what Flacco's pain tolerance is like, but I do know this season, when and if he does take sacks, which he inevitably will take sacks, when he gets hit, if he gets injured, I'm not wishing injury upon him, but if he does get injured, he's not going to be healing like a 20-something-year-old, bouncing back rapidly as a young 20, 21, 22, 23-year-old would. So we have to keep that in mind. I think that all the pressure is on Dillon Gabriel. Now, I don't think that Cleveland Browns did that on purpose, but I think that's just the way things are fleshing out. You get rid of Pickett. Now you have Dylan Gabriel as your certified backup to Flacco, and then you have Shadeur Sanders as the third. Now, we all know on God's green earth that Shadeur Sanders is not the third-string quarterback. It says he's the third-string quarterback, but on paper, he's the third-string quarterback, but in reality, he's not. He's truly the backup. Again, all these things that are happening, it's not negative. He will play this season. Shadeur Sanders will play this season, so we'll get Dylan Gabriel. And as I said in my first video that I made the other day, I think that Dylan Gabriel will be exposed, so will Shadeur. But when I say the word exposed, it usually has a negative connotation to it, because exposed means that you're hiding something and it ends up becoming something that's revealed to the public. And people are like, oh, he's exposed, he's naked, we see it for what he's worth. That's a good thing for Shadeur. You put Shadeur in the mix with first-team players, you put Shadeur on a team with talent, even if the talent is average at best, he can make something out of nothing. I just think the eye test just tells me that Shadeur Sanders is better than Dylan Gabriel. When I watched Oregon play, Dylan Gabriel didn't do anything that was like, oh my God. I mean, put it this way, if you gave Shadeur Sanders, all right, all the talent that Oregon had, let's flip the teams. Let's put Dylan Gabriel on Colorado, all right? I want you guys to think about that for a second. Let's swap teams for a second. Let's play hypothetical here. Let's put Shadeur Sanders on the Oregon team with all that talent, the slew of talent that they have in every position, or a good offensive line, good team overall. And I'm not trying to bash Colorado. Colorado had a decent team. And let's put Dylan Gabriel on Colorado. Let's see how Dylan Gabriel looks. You got to understand that sometimes stats could be misleading, and the team's success could be misleading as well, because it's a team sport. So if a team does better in terms of their win-loss percentage, then you end up attributing the success to the quarterback alone, and that's not fair. You can't just attribute success to just the quarterback alone, because we know that in college, most of those systems are ran by coaches, and coaches get players to fit their system. So it's a whole team thing, from coaches to the O-line to the D-line to the left tackles, the right tackles, the running backs, the wide receiving room, the wide receiver core. All those things matter. It's like a big gumbo. You got to mix it all up, and if you have all the right flavors in there, then you have a great meal. But oftentimes the quarterback takes all the credit. I don't think Dylan Gabriel is anywhere close to Shadeur Sanders. Shadeur Sanders is bigger, taller, more athletic than people give him credit for. Dylan Gabriel is just a small guy. He reminds me of a Tua, or he's not as freakishly athletic as what's the guy, the quarterback for Arizona Cardinals? He doesn't, the short guy. He doesn't have that type of explosive athleticism as that guy for the Arizona Cardinals, the quarterback. I forgot his name. You guys could probably remind me in the comments. So I think everything's going to be fine with Shadeur Sanders. I believe that he's going to end up playing this season. Because I told you guys, if they really thought that Shadeur was trash, then cut him. Get rid of him. You're not going to get rid of him. You were willing to keep 4 quarterbacks, and then you thought about it, you got rid of Pickett. Why not get rid of Shadeur? They don't want to get rid of Shadeur. They know Shadeur is good. Dylan Gabriel has all the pressure on him. He's the backup. So, if Flacco goes down, in goes Dylan Gabriel. And I'm telling you, his height is going to be an issue to see over the offensive line. And we'll see how it goes. But you guys have to stay positive. Shadeur's going to get his opportunity. I don't think that, don't get the depth chart thing, don't let that rattle you guys. We knew coming in that he wasn't going to be the starter. So if you're not the starter, it really doesn't matter what you are on the depth chart. And I believe that the fans behind Shadeur Sanders is enough pressure. It's an element in this. It has a specific influence. It does. You know, there's a negative side to all the fandom as well. You know, because a lot of teams are like, I don't want all this attention on my team. I don't want all these distractions, and I just want to concentrate on football. Well, that comes with the package with Shadeur. It's not his fault. You know, it's his father's fault. I think it's everything's fault. It's his father's fault. It's his And I say it's his father's fault because his father is just it's a big character. The guy has a big personality, and it doesn't really help his son because people don't like that. And when I say it's the father's fault, I'm not saying that Coach Prime is a bad father. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying that if people are going to nitpick and try to quote unquote humble the Sanders, they're only trying to humble the dad. And people are upset. I saw videos on YouTube and they talked about, I heard this guy saying some outlandish bullshit, saying that, oh, this is why teams didn't want him, because he's coming in with an entourage. He's coming in with music playing. Now we're nitpicking the fuck out of this kid. The only reason why we know that he's playing music is because you guys are concentrated on him. He's young, guys. He's going to have fun. I don't give a damn if you put Legendary in his locker room. What does it matter if he did that? I never had a problem with that. People like Colin Cowherd had a problem with it. I had other sports pundits talking bullshit about, oh, he put Legendary. Now you guys are nitpicking. We've had many players do certain things that were having like parties, NFL draft parties, and having a bunch of people there. Like, he had a sign said Legendary in his room. So fucking what? He believes in himself. If I was a coach, I would want a player that believes in himself. I don't want a player coming in thinking that, okay, I'm going to get my opportunity. Hope I do well. I don't need timidity. I don't need average for my quarterback in terms of his mindset. I need a confident quarterback. We understand that football, 90% of it is mental. You don't get to the NFL because you're a scrub. You get to the NFL because you have talent. The rest of it is in here, between the temple, above the shoulders. Are you confident enough to play the game? And Shadeur is very confident. I don't see a problem with that. I think the Legendary status was just a reflection on the family name, the Sanders name. I don't think that he was saying that he's legendary because he hasn't did anything in the NFL to consider himself to be legendary. He's not an idiot. He's just saying legendary because that's what he aspires to be, and he knows that he comes from legendary lineage. He has a lineage. He has a father who was legendary, so he wants to continue that family tradition and continuing to be legendary and push forward for that. So I mean, I don't see the problem with that. People are nitpicking the speeding ticket. Get the fuck out of here. Like, you're trying to tell me right now if let's say Mahomes was stopped for was stopped by the police for speeding. Number one, it won't even make the news because he's Mahomes, right? Because he's Mahomes, and his skin is really, really bright. It's not dark, and Mahomes doesn't have that type of Sanders family swagger, so he doesn't come across as a threat. He doesn't come across as a guy that needs to be humbled. He has a white mother, a black father, so the mixture of Mahomes makes him a little bit more digestible to the audiences. I think Sanders is too black. He's too charismatic. When I say Sanders, I mean both father and son. So I mean, people are just nitpicking, saying that's the reason why he was taken fifth. Look, man, football teams want to win, and they will take. I've seen NFL teams take risks on guys that had problems with the law. Tell me one time that, aside from the speeding ticket, that you heard Shadeur having problems with the law, like in and out of jail, or going to bars, getting drunk and having fights, or having alleged domestic violence against him, beating women. You don't hear any of that about Shadeur. But you want to? They're gonna go as far as nitpicking his draft day room. People tell you who they are, folks. So all these people that are talking this shit about, speeding tickets, legendary, having an entourage playing music as he's coming in for his first preseason game, those people are your borderline, I don't want to call them racist, but they're racial profiling, because I'm very, very intentional with not using the word racist, because racist means that you have an internal hate for a specific race and you want to do harm to that race. People have the right to be prejudiced and love their own kind. I like my own kind. I like my own black people. If you ask me, I prefer my black people. I prefer being with my group than being with another group. That's just prejudice. It doesn't mean that I hate other groups. I just have a prejudice towards my own group. There's a difference. So I'm not gonna start just calling people, throwing out the term you're racist, but we all racial profile, and there's stereotypes that come with every race. We all do it. I do it, you do it. Okay? It doesn't mean you hate a race, you just profile them. But I don't see where this hyper intense criticism is coming towards Shadeur. So it has to be coming from a place that's not genuine. Like whatever you're talking about is really not on the surface. It's really beneath the surface. But a lot of people don't want to go beneath the surface, because if they do go beneath the surface, it's going to expose them for what they are, as being borderline racist, for not really liking a specific race. So you're gonna just go behind the mic and use these surface events that don't really amount to anything, like him playing music. He's young. Like, you guys act like he's a veteran. He just got into the NFL. Let the kid live. Shit. You guys don't have charisma. So you guys are jealous to see another young man with charisma and with a dad that has charisma. So you guys go ahead and play the humble game. But like I said, talent always rises to the top. It always rises. You can't keep it down. It's like putting plastic in water. It's going to rise right back up to the top. The only way you can kill talent is to kill the person. And as long as Shadeur is alive and he's playing football and he keeps his head up, he's going to get his opportunity. It's just a matter of time. And like I said before in my other video, the story is better this way, isn't it? If you were reading a book, if you're watching a movie about Shadeur Sanders' career, it's better this way. He came in against all odds. He came in with huge obstacles to overcome. He came in with the league that didn't want him. He came in being intentionally sabotaged. He came in with all these things he had to overcome, and he did it. Yeah, I'm saying it in future tense. He did it. He's gonna overcome them. Watch. Don't be negative. Frequency is real. If all fans of Shadeur are behind him, the best thing you can do is have a half glass full mentality and have a positive perspective about this. You just have the first sign kick in. Pickett is gone, so they don't have 4 quarterbacks. So no longer is Shadeur on the 4th string. He's 3rd string, which puts all the pressure on Dylan Gabriel. Everything's going to work out fine for Shadeur. It's going to make him grind harder. He knows he's talented. He knows that he's not a bad quarterback. It's just a matter of time. Okay? Leave a comment, tell me what you guys think. Until next time, peace.